Once you've added products to your library, you are then ready to add them to product groups as appropriate. Let's talk about how and why you might want to use them. Remember, a product group is a group of related products that can be added to a bundle as a single line item. When you draw with a bundle containing product groups, you'll be prompted in the app to choose one product option from each group. This allows you to customize the bundle for each job by selecting the most suitable option for your specific project. Now let's do an example together. Again, keep in mind that when you are setting up a group, you will need to set up any products that you want within that group first. And so that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go in and create some boards for my example here. Um, and let's say I want to start off with a dog ear pine. I'm going to go in and plug in my pricing and then create. And then I'll do a couple more variations of my 1x4x4. So we'll copy this one, and then this one is going to be our flat. And then I'll copy one more time, and then this one will be our Gothic. Okay, so I now have my three different board options ready to go, and so I can now put them into a product group. So I'll go over here to product groups, and then I'm going to hit a new product group. I can call this, Pine Board Choices, whatever name I want to give. That's helpful for me to know what that is. And then I'll go in and find the items that I need. I'll click into the category or categories where those items live, and then I will grab my three products here and then hit save. So now I have these three products added as options within my group. One other thing that you'll notice that I can do here is if I want to designate a default option that will be pre-selected in the app, I can check this box under default. Again, not required. If you don't want to designate a default, that's fine too, but it is an option. So I'll go ahead and hit OK to save my group, and then I'll show you how you would add it to a bundle. So I'm going to click in here, and I've got a test bundle set up that I can go into real quickly. Let's say that I want to add those board options to this bundle. What I'm going to do is go down to product group down here at the bottom right, and then I will find the group that I want to add. And here it is at the bottom, my Pine Board Choices. So I'll make that selection, hit add. And then this will now be added as an additional line item to my bundle. So I can now, further customize this as needed. I can go in and make my quantity setting here, right? Whatever that may be. And again, we'll go more into the details of how to set your quantities and configure the ins and outs of these bundles. But for now, that's a good overview of how we would add that group as a line item within our fence bundle. Now, let's step back a little bit and kind of talk about the bigger picture here, right? So why would I create product groups, and what's the benefit of that? The biggest thing is that creating product groups minimizes the number of bundles that you need to create, right? If we think about our board group that we set up, if I hadn't set up this group with the dog ear, flat, and Gothic choices, I would have to set up three separate bundles, right? One for each of those three variations. So putting all of these options into that single group both streamlines the library, right, since you need fewer bundles, and it speeds up the setup a little bit as well, since you don't have extra bundles that you need to create. Now, the number of groups that you set up and what you use them for is totally up to you. You might have groups for board options, rails, posts, caps, chain link, fabric. The list goes on, right? And you can set up groups for some, all, or even none of those things if you really don't want to. Um, One consideration to keep in mind when you are building these groups is that you want to balance streamlining your library setup with these groups with also making sure that your bundles are manageable for your team in the field. So if you have a fence bundle, let's say with 15 line items, all of which are groups that have 8 to 10 options inside of them, that's probably going to slow your team down quite a bit in the field, trying to make all of those selections. That's a case where it's probably worth it to go ahead and create more bundles with fewer groups inside. One final note. Another situation where you're not going to want to use product groups is for items that are not calculated the same way, right? You'll notice if we look here at our pine board choices that we've added to this bundle, while we do have, I can click in and see my 3 different options that are available to me here, you'll see that this line item, regardless of which of the 3 choices I make, is going to use this consistent quantity rule that's associated with this line. So what that means is that if I have a group and the items inside of that group need to be calculated differently from each other, then I actually don't want to put them in a group together, and I'm going to need to set up separate bundles. A good example of that would be something like, pickets of different widths, right? If I have 4-inch pickets and 6-inch pickets, and I need to pick, one of those options. Obviously, if I do the 6-inch pickets, I will need fewer for my total length of fence, right? And if I do the narrower picket, I will need more of those. And so we wouldn't want to put those in a group where we would have to kind of force them all into the same calculation. So that's another good thing to keep in mind here as well.